So, where do blessings really come from? Is it about who's giving it, or maybe the specific ritual they're doing? Well, we're about to jump into this incredible story that suggests the answer is somewhere you would probably never expect.
It sounds totally backward, right? I mean, we think of miracles coming from this really pure, sacred place. But what if the person giving the blessing didn't matter at all? What if it was all about the person receiving it? That's the wild question at the very heart of this story.
This amazing lesson comes to us from the Samyukta Ratna Pitaka Sutra, which is this classic collection of Buddhist tales, and it shows us how the mind, when it's in a state of just pure belief, can make the impossible happen, even if the world around it is basically just a big prank.
Okay, so our story kicks off with a really simple but really powerful wish. Let's meet the person at the center of all this.
So, we have this elderly monk. He's a sweet guy, super kind, but maybe his mind isn't quite as quick as it used to be. And one day, he overhears some of the younger monks talking about the legendary four fruits. These are like the four big stages of spiritual enlightenment. And a totally pure, simple desire just lights up inside him. More than anything, he wants to achieve that for himself.
So, full of hope, the old monk goes up to the younger guys and asks if they can help him get these fruits. But instead of showing any compassion, his sincere question just gives them an idea for a pretty mean prank. And here you can really see the two sides of this. On one side, you've got the old monk. His faith is so pure, he actually believes these young guys can give him salvation. And on the other side, the young monks. All they see is a chance for a good laugh and, hey, a free meal. So they tell him, sure, we'll do it. But first, you've got to cook a huge feast for us. The old monk is thrilled, and he happily cooks up this amazing meal. After the young monks have eaten everything, they start their little ceremony. And this is where things start to get really, really weird. One step at a time. They tell the old monk to go sit in a corner, close his eyes, and get ready for his blessing. And he does. He sits there, hands folded, his heart just overflowing with hope. Then, one of the young monks grabs something, hits him on the head with it, and shouts, "You have now received the first fruit of enlightenment." And right here is where the story completely flips. The young monks are laughing their heads off, but the old monk, he's smiling too, but for a totally different reason. You see, his faith was so absolute, his mind was so focused and had zero doubt that the physical hit didn't matter. The reason for the hit was a joke, but the way he received it was completely pure. And in that one moment of total sincerity, he actually genuinely attains the first stage of enlightenment. The young monks have no idea a miracle just happened. They're just having fun, so they decide to keep the joke going. They tell him, hey, the first fruit is great, but there's more to go. Let's get you the second fruit. And they tell him to move to another corner of the room. Okay, so having already had a real taste of spiritual progress, the old monk's faith is now even stronger, his joy even bigger. He moves to the new spot, waits respectfully, and they hit him again, declaring he has the second fruit. And you're not going to believe it, but because his mind was so perfectly ready after the first time, the miracle happens again. He achieves the second stage. The prank just keeps going. The young monks are getting more into it now. They tell him there's an even higher level, the third fruit, which means you don't have to come back to this world. They tell him to move to a third corner, and, you guessed it, they hit him on the head again. And the pattern just continues. By now, the old monk's focus is completely unbreakable. His reverence is absolute. He doesn't feel the hit as an insult from some pranksters. He feels it as a pure transfer of grace. And with that exact same unwavering faith, he breaks through to the third stage of enlightenment. And now we're at the final act. The young monks tell him there is one last stage, full arhatship, complete enlightenment. Move to the fourth corner for the ultimate prize. The old monk does it. His entire being is just zeroed in on this final step, and they hit him one last time. And in that final moment, through a cruel prank that was meant to make fun of him, the old monk's pure, solid gold faith carries him all the way. He breaks through all the final barriers of his mind and becomes a fully enlightened arhat, a true sage.
So the joke is over. The young monks are about to have one last laugh and take off. But the story isn't done. Now comes the part where the truth of what really just happened finally comes out.
Filled with this immense gratitude, the now enlightened old monk turns to the young guys and thanks them for their incredible gift. Then he starts sharing these deep insights and talking about the states of consciousness he's now experiencing as a fully realized being. At first, the young monks are just confused. Like, what is this guy talking about? They can't grasp the deep spiritual truths he's explaining. But as he keeps talking, this chilling feeling starts to creep in. This isn't an act. They hadn't been making fun of a fool. They had somehow been the tools for the enlightenment of a saint. The story says they literally fell to their knees, totally terrified and full of regret for what they'd done.
So what's the big lesson here? What does this absolutely wild story teach us about where blessings actually come from?
The suture itself just sums it up perfectly. The situation on the outside was a lie, a total joke. But the internal state of the old monk, his heart, was so true, so sincere, that it literally transformed that lie into a powerful reality. So, what can we take away from this? Well, first, that your own inner state, your sincerity, is what really shapes your world. Second, a powerful, sincere belief really can change any situation, turning even a mean prank into a miracle. This means blessings aren't things that are just given to us. They're something we realize inside ourselves. And maybe the biggest lesson of all, the purity of your own faith is way more important than whether the thing or person you have faith in is even worthy of.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. Look at your own life, your own challenges, your own dreams. Where could applying this kind of absolute, sincere faith, not in someone else, but just in the potential of the moment itself, change everything for you?